If you have ever wondered why some models book constantly while other models that might be signed with big name agencies aren't working, it's not just luck, it's about having the right relationship with your agent. In today's video, I'm going to talk about what you can do as a model to build a great relationship with your model agent. I'll talk about how to set boundaries on jobs that you don't want to take, and also red flags that you might not have known about model agents in particular. By the way, I'm Carly. I've been modeling for about 4 years now. Currently, I'm represented in the New York and LA markets. I've worked with a variety of beauty, tech, and commercial clients. On this channel, I talk about the business side of modeling, and I also share strategies to manage your money and build wealth. Let's first talk about what your agent's role is. A modeling agent is so much more than just someone who finds you jobs. They are essentially your business partner in the fashion industry. So it's really important that you partner with someone you have good rapport with and whom you trust. They'll find you castings and negotiate contracts. They handle conversations around usage rights and working conditions. If something doesn't seem right on set, or if you're not getting paid by the client, they are the ones that will advocate for you and make sure the working conditions are right and make sure that you get paid. That being said, agents cannot guarantee constant work. While you do have a higher chance of getting work if your agent is well connected, ultimately getting booked is due to a variety of different factors, from what industry trends are, how big of a personal brand you have, and how a client wants to market themselves. So here's what you can do to build your relationship with your modeling agent. One of the most important things you can do is be communicative. If your agent texts or emails you asking if you're free for a casting or for a potential job, they want a response as soon as possible. If there are certain dates you aren't able to work because you're traveling or on vacation, then it helps to let them know as soon as possible. That way they won't submit you for jobs that cast or shoot on certain days. Agents are typically working with multiple models, so it's so important to respond to their messages as soon as possible. Not only because it just makes their job easier, but it makes you particularly easy to work with. Part of being communicative is also communicating your goals. As a model, your agent may be a tool to help you, but you also have to advocate for yourself. Have an idea of what you want out of your career, whether it's specific brands you want to work with, how much money you want to earn on a monthly basis, or anything else. If your agent knows what your goals are, then they can help angle you to achieve them. That brings me quite nicely to my next point, which is to have regular check-ins with your agent. Once a quarter is typically good. For me, it might look more like twice a year. It's good to get your digitals updated, just level set on what you've been booking recently and how you want your career to go. Also, bringing treats to these meetings never hurts either. Agents should always be open to discussing your career. And lots of times there's turnover at agencies too, so it's good to just meet the folks there and help them put a personality to the images that they often see. When your agent sends you to a casting or a booking, it's really important to be professional, confident, and polite. Also, be on time. That's probably the biggest thing. And be nice to everyone. As soon as I walk into a building for a casting or a job, I immediately turn it on. You never know who you'll see or talk to in the lobby or the elevator, and overall you just want to make a good impression. As a commercial model, everyone on set is generally really nice. One, it's easier to work with people who have good energy, and two, modeling is really competitive. There's always someone else who can take your job if you aren't easy to work with. So let's talk about how to set boundaries. If you're a new model to the industry, sometimes it can be really intimidating to know what you can say no to. When I started out, I used to accept all castings that my agent sent me, even ones that I didn't really want to do. Eventually, I learned how to say no and to set boundaries around the types of jobs that I was willing to cast for. You also have the freedom to tell agents what types of jobs you are or are not willing to do. You can always specify the types of brands or rates that you don't want to work for. At the end of the day, it's your face that is representing the brand. So if you don't want your personal brand associated with a brand or industry, you shouldn't have to do it. After years of accepting all castings and jobs, eventually I got to a point where there were some types of brands that I personally don't want to work with, or rates and usage terms that I don't think are worth me casting for. For example, be aware of usage in perpetuity. That means the client can use your image forever, and usually no amount of money the client is willing to pay is worth that. Castings with these types of terms are typically pretty rare, and also my agent doesn't usually send me anything under $1,000. If they do, it's generally a direct booking and a pretty quick job. Overall, it's completely okay to say no to castings and bookings. If it's a one-off type of job that you don't want to do, you can just decline the casting or say that you're busy that day. But if you find yourself constantly declining castings or bookings, it's probably better to set a boundary and tell your agent why you are saying no to certain types of opportunities. That way they won't submit you to similar future projects. Sometimes saying no too much can also reflect poorly on you. Let's talk about red flags to watch out for. Standard agency commission is typically 10 to 20%. It generally leans toward 20%. And anything over that is a huge red flag. In the US, agents make money by taking 20% from the client and 20% from the model. Overseas, the commission is closer to 30% or so, since they generally, I don't think, take commission from the client. It's a huge red flag if agents make you pay a monthly fee. I would just stop communicating with them because that's not an agency. The only fee models might have to pay is the web fee. That one's pretty common, but there are some agencies that don't require that. The web fee should be taken out of your first paycheck if it is required. That way you don't pay the web fee if you don't book a job that year. It's a red flag if your agent takes months to pay you. This one's a little bit tough because sometimes late payments are the client's fault. Sometimes it's the agent's fault, but you don't know this particular red flag until you've started booking jobs through your agent. That's why networking with fellow models on set is so important. There have been instances where I have been paid late, and payment is considered late if I still haven't gotten my money past the 3-month mark. Then I start reaching out to models who also worked that job and ask if they've received their payment yet. The reality is sometimes agents don't pay their models on time, so before you sign a contract with an agent, reach out to other models who are represented by that agency to see if they have had a good experience with them. Another red flag is if your agent doesn't send you regular castings. If you are not booking jobs with an agency and your agent is not working on developing you, consider terminating that contract. You can either freelance model or try to sign with another agency. I will say it does take time to start working consistently, sometimes even years. So you might have to use your discretion on this point, but it's easier to make it if your agent is focused on helping you succeed. I have a whole playlist on succeeding in the modeling industry, so check out my channel for that. But if you've ever wondered how much models make per job and how their pay is structured, like time on set versus usage rights, watch this video next where I break down exactly how much commercial models are paid.